Now we are discussing about uh, the, the task of developing marketing strategies and plans. In fact, we are now starting to cover the second chapter of part 1, which is about understanding the marketing management. But if we think from the side of marketing management task, so we are now trying to understand that how to develop marketing strategies and marketing plan. So if I start with the initial sentences of this chapter, it says that the key ingredients of marketing management process are insightful, creative strategies and plans that can guide marketing activities. So developing the right marketing strategy over time requires a blend of discipline and flexibility. Firms must stick to a strategy but also constantly improve it. They must also develop strategies for a range of products and services within organization. So here we see that creative strategies and plans, they will play as a guiding role for our marketing activities. But while doing that, we have to have some framework, which we can also call them as discipline, but we need to be also flexible because there can happen contingencies, situations where we need to work them out, we need to solve them, and also in the process of executing our strategies, we need to constantly improve in our performance. So there is an example in your book about Yahoo and Yahoo India, particularly in our South Asian edition. But I will move on to the, so you can read that to really get the idea of how strategies and planning are playing the role in our marketing management. Now I will go to the first section of this book about how strategic marketing has implications in creating the value. So this is actually the first learning objectives also of this chapter, which is about how strategic marketing impacts or it has implications in creating customer value. When we are talking about customer value here, we mean about customer perceived value, and we have discussed this in the class that we have customer lifetime value and we have also customer perceived value, but here we mean customer perceived value. So when we create the customer value, we see that in business we have three fundamental jobs in our value delivery process. We need to choose the right value, and we need to provide the right value, and we need to communicate a right value and which is superior than our competitors. If we move on, if we see it in a slide, we see that here we have the three value components, the functions like how to choosing the value, providing the value, and communicating the value. Now, when we are doing this, we have a choice to make, because traditionally in marketing we used to say that in traditional marketing we say that you make the solution and then you think about selling the solution. So here marketing is following the production. First we produce something and then we try to sell it. But these kind of things are effective when you have an economy which is, which doesn't have enough number of goods to solve people's problem. So people are just looking for some solution. They don't care much about how far they meet their needs and wants. But when we live in an economy where people are quite different from each other, and people have their unique individual wants, perceptions, preferences, and buying criteria, and on top of that I will also add one thing here, which is about that people, they have the capacity to purchase, so they have the purchasing capacity, so they are not actually depending, they have enough capacity to pay enough for their unique need and unique solution, and they also have options in the market. So when we have this kind of, and you can see that the most of our circumstances are like this, that there are not only one option, options are available, competitors are there to fight with the other option, to fight with any specific solution, and customers are capable to purchase. And there are different types of people, so customers are not alike, homogeneous, and also they have their unique perceptions and preferences. So in that case, what do? We have to, so here we have a unique problem. The problem is that our as a smart competitor in the market, I must design and deliver offerings for well-defined target markets. I cannot target everyone, because if I try to make a shoe which fits all, it will not work, because everybody has their unique fit, and I need to find a shoe by that I can specifically target a particular segment. So we need to also initiate a business process that places marketing at the beginning of the planning. As you remember, we started with the traditional view where marketing came after production. So you have produced something, you have already produced it, now you ask about how to sell it. But here we say that no, marketing should start even before production. So instead of emphasizing making and selling idea, we say that marketing should be in the, so marketing here works as a part of the delivery process. So then if we think marketing in this way, so we can say according to, if you remember, you can see that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options, these are all actually the 6 components or 6 tasks of marketing management after you start with the developing strategies and plans. So here we say that in the value creation and delivery process, you should have right assessment of the marketing opportunities and customer value. You should choose the right value, design the value rightly, and then deliver it rightly and communicate it rightly, and accordingly you have to grow and sustain your value. So here is the challenge of the delivery process. So when now when we want to create this, we are like in the process of creating a value and delivering the value. Michael Porter from Harvard University, he has come with an interesting idea about a value chain. He said that, look, when you are creating a value for your customers, so your customers are staying here, customers are here at the end of the chain. So here we have the customers, so they are going to buy from us. So here is the price we set for them, and here is our cost of goods sold, COGS. So the gap we have between the price and the cost of goods sold, that is our margin. So now we have some activities in our business which is like our primary activities, and we have some activities which is our support activities. The primary activities, we have the inbound logistics. What do I mean by inbound logistics? If you take these operations as the company, so here is the company operating to create the value. So to create the value, you are operating, but for operation you need some supply coming to your company. So the supply that is coming in your company, that coming into your company, is called inbound logistics. But after you create the value, you then supply it to the market. So when you supply the value, so here is the supply of raw materials. Supply of raw materials, that indicates supply of raw materials, that defines the inbound logistics. And here you supply the finished product. So when you supply the value, or you can say supply the finished product, then this is your outbound logistics. And here we see the marketing activities. By marketing, we actually mean that the product is available. Now we use the marketing to get the things reach to get the message reach the customers that the things are available. and we use also the service channels to get the transaction complete. So here is the service channel to get the transaction complete. Here is the marketing channel to get the communication, and and also the distribution channel to get the things communicated well. But to make sure that we get the right supply in the right time, our procurement department is working for that. So the procurement department, it's not only the right supply, because after you create the product, you need to also get the supply reach the market in the right time. So the procurement department's job is to make sure that whatever resources we need, procurement department is procuring it, they are purchasing it, they are collecting it. And human resource department, they are working with our people. So they want to make sure that we are staffed by, we are employing the right people to do all these activities effectively. And our technological department, they make sure that the technology that we are using, they are supporting our process. And also procurement department, they also use the resources, they supply the resources so we can also run our process effectively. And the infrastructure, they are also supporting us to complete this process efficiently. So the whole things, all the components, they are together making the value go like a chain. So everyone is involved. Some are, we can see as and they are the primary activities. Some we cannot see, they are like behind the screen or below the surface, but they are also supporting immensely to get the whole things done successfully. Now, when we do these things, we need to make sure that our company, they are actually, this concept has I will discuss about. There is another concept about marketing, which is about how do we make sure that, just a moment, yeah. So we have finished all these processes and we can move on. We can say that the value chain, the primary activities and secondary activities, we have talked about it. Now the point is in this core business process, so we have to, I have already talked about the business process, like when we are in a value chain, from the inbound logistics to the supply, we have to go through a process. So what are the things we try to activate, we try to fulfill in the process of delivering the value, or in the process of running the value chain, reaching and making sure that the customers get the right value from us. It says that we should, in your book, page number 32, you will see that also in the last two paragraphs, that our core business process include market sensing process, new offering realization process, customer acquisition process, customer relationship management process, and fulfillment management process. And firms also need to look into the value chains for their suppliers, distributors, and customers. Okay, this is something interesting. That means that if I have all these things for my value chain, if I have to do this market sensing, new offer realization, customer acquisition, everything, I have to do it. And the people who are buying from me and the people who are supplying or working with me, distributors, like some of my customers can be also business customers, so they may have their own value chain. So we have discussed about the value chain. So when they have their own value chain, I have to understand that my value chain should be compatible with their value chain. So if I have a supplier and he actually is not working in an efficient value chain, in that case he will not be able to serve me the raw materials in the right time, because his value chain is not working perfect. And in the same way, if my value chain is not working right, then my customers may have problem in their own value chain. So I have to understand that how compatible we are with regarding to our relationship with our stakeholders, like suppliers, distributors, and customers. Now coming back to this market sensing process, new offer realization process, how they are related. Let's go to a slide and see that how they are related with each other. If I see this slide, you can see that in this slide, the customer market sensing process, which is staying at the core of the circle. So market sensing means it's like, what is happening in the market, collecting the intelligence of the market continuously. And in the next, so when we know that happenings, we know the happenings in the market, then we try to understand and explain it and narrate it, interpret it, that how it can create a new offer, it can create a new opportunity for us. So when we do that, then we try to say that how, if we create an offer, if we create a new offer from these new changes in the market, then how do we get customers for it? And when we have got the customers for it, then how do we keep the relationship with the customer? So we keep the customers staying with us, and then we try to fulfill the promise, the long-term promise with our customers. Okay, when we do this, we say that we have to actually develop a value delivery network. We have already discussed about that our stakeholders, each of our stakeholders, they have their own value chain. So we want to make sure that each of our value chain, they are supporting each other. So all the value chains together, they make up all the value chains together. Sorry, let's go to the last slide, and we can use the pen. And yeah, so all of their value chain, all the value chains together, they make a value delivery network. So the value delivery network. Now, as a company, since I'm working with all different type of suppliers and partners, and they all can help me, and I know that to become special in the market, to become someone, I don't have to do everything myself. I can just outsource the things. If I think that some of my partners can do the job better than me, I can just assign it to my partners. But I need to also understand that what is the special thing about me, what is the job that makes me the most relevant to the customers, that what is and I can consider it as my core competency. When we talk about core competency, we mean that that this is the essence of my business. For example, if I am a furniture manufacturing company, so what is the core things in my company? Is it just the wood that I use, or it is the design, or it is the so what is the core competency for my business? So the management thinkers, they say that for core competency we should also understand that we should all the things that we can use in our business, we should evaluate them from three things. One thing is that, is it a source of my competitive advantage? That means, is that what I do better than my competitors? So that is giving me some advantage over my competitors. And can I use this skill? Can I use this good skill of me in many other, for many other uses, for many other applications? And is it also difficult for my competitors to imitate? So I have something, and whether it is easy or difficult for my competitors to imitate. And when you can also see the same thing like here, that we see that this is something that is very the same thing about core competence. We are now explaining it in another slide. So here we see that it contributes to use customer benefits, the skill that I have. So if I can work well on that, I can be better than my competitors, and I can use it in many other markets, in many other applications, and my competitors will have difficulty to copy this idea from me or to imitate me. Now now we need to understand that this our marketing management, since we have decided that we will do the marketing management under holistic marketing concept. So when we think about holistic marketing, we have already heard about four components of holistic marketing. If you remember that the four components of the holistic marketing, by that we mean we will have relationship marketing in one part, then we will have integrated marketing, we will have internal marketing, integrated marketing, internal marketing, and also performance marketing. And whole things will make it holistic marketing, performance, and that holistic is there, holistic marketing. So now what holistic marketing is, what is the cycle of holistic marketing? That's about creating the value, delivering the value, and continuously to explore that what new value I can create from the new opportunities. So, or you can start with that first we try to explore some value, that what I can create, then we create it, and then we deliver it, and that's how we keep on exploring that what we can do. So